Hey Maria, can you hear me?
Hi, Sandy. Yes, the line is clear.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm good too. I have some news to tell you about my job. But before that, how's the little baby coming along?
Baby's doing well. About 5 months to go. All reports and checkups are good too.
Oh my gosh, that's great. 5 months will pass very soon. I can't wait to come to KL to visit you once this MCO is over. Also, you're looking very tired, Maria.
Well, I just need more rest, I guess. Anyways, that's great, Sandy. I'm sure little Pin here will love to see you. So, anyways, what's up with you?
Well, yes. So about my um, hey, what's on your face? Did you burn your skin?
Well, yeah, I accidentally splashed some hot water the other day. I was boiling it because the water filter wasn't working and stuff.
Um, uh, really?
Yeah. So back to you. What's up with the job?
How's Michael, by the way? You haven't mentioned much about him lately on chats either. Where is he?
Michael's at work. He'll be home late. He's he's fine.
Um, is there anything happening at home? I mean, you're looking extremely tired and you mysteriously have burn scars.
Everything's fine at home. Like, what could possibly happen, Sandy? It's usually just normal couple fights. You'll know someday when you get married too.
Wait, couple fights? Are you sure everything's okay? We all know about Michael's anger issues. I mean, remember at the family dinner gathering last year when his food arrived late? You saw how he spoke to the waiter, and that time you were like, he will change.
Yes, Sandy. I know he has anger issues. He's still working on it. Plus, he might be a little bit stressed with work, and the baby is coming too, so don't worry. This will pass.
Okay, but you will tell me like if something's happening at home, right?
Yes, of course. I will, Sandy. Now, what's up with your job? I'm really excited to hear about it.
Okay, right. So I've been promoted to. What is that? Maria? Is everything okay?
I'll call you back soon, Sandy. I'll call you back.
What? Hello? Hello, Maria? Where did you go? Maria, what happened? Are you all right? I'm going to call the cops.
No, don't, please. Don't call the police. I beg you. Don't.
But why? What happened?
Sandy, I didn't tell you everything that's been happening the last few months, especially that was Michael earlier. He came home drunk and tried to hit me, but luckily he passed out on the couch. At first, I thought he was just stressed at work, but he's drinking more and more. He even slaps me sometimes. When he is sober, he apologizes and buy me these gifts, but he still controls me about where I can go and what I can do.
Maria, why didn't you tell me any of this? I can't believe you've gone through this all alone. You don't deserve to go through this. I'm calling the cops now. You have to get out of there.
No, Sandy, please. No cops. He has threatened to hurt my mother. So please, no police should be involved. I thought I could take it in until the baby is here, but now it is getting worse and I am scared. I want to protect my baby, but I don't know what to do.
Maria, I am so angry with Michael right now, and I'm more worried about your safety. I'm sure there's something we can do now. You have to get out of there before he wakes up. Is there anywhere safe for you to go right now? Do you want me to book a Grab?
One of my friend's houses is nearby. I think I can go there. I will send you her address as well. But who are you going to call after that?
I'm not sure. But go to your friend's house for now. I'll help you book a Grab. I'll also try to call someone for help now. Go, Maria, and do not pick up Michael's calls or let him know your location. I'll send you the Grab details. Call me immediately again once you reach there, okay?
Okay, Sandy. Thanks. I'll go now.
Hi, so welcome back. So based on the video that was played previously, what type of domestic violence do you think it's revealed?
Okay, so domestic violence can be expressed in several ways, and as it is a behavioral pattern, right? There are some tactics used. For example, intimidation, emotional abuse, isolation, minimizing, denying, and blaming, using children, and coercion and threats, and the physical and sexual violence, for example. So in the video, there are several tactics that come into play, probably in different scenarios. The fact that there is a fear factor, that means there was physical violence involved, and then there is the where the survivor is worried and speaks softly. So there is the psychological and emotional abuse. That is probably one of the tactics being used as well.
So what do you think of the friend's approach towards Maria? Do you as friends, is that what we should do?
Well, as friends, we should first and foremost, listen without judgment. That is important, because in the earlier episode we spoke about how a survivor of domestic violence has low self-esteem, because they feel that it is their fault, and they feel guilty. They've been blamed for every act of violence. So because of that, right? So we should take that how you say, the fact that when the survivor spoke up and decided to share her experience, that means she must be comfortable enough in that relationship to be able to do so. And as a recipient of that trust, we should we should treat it with a lot of respect, and avoid, for example, avoid any scenario where we may accidentally ask, what do? You must have been something, that then makes her retract back, because she was then say, oh yeah, it is my fault, right? So so some of the things that as friends you would do is be respectful, believe the survivor, and don't blame them, and ensure their safety. So what the survivor's friend did was offer or suggest that she goes to a safe place, that she be maybe transported safely, right? And that, because maybe there is, as I mentioned, because of the safety issue. So that means even in my work as a crisis support officer, because sometimes we have to identify situations where the line gets cut, or because it is not safe, and or we can't call back because it is not safe. So given that scenario, the friend's support was like, offering to, call a transport for her because she was away long distance. I mean, those are definitely helpful, helpful offers to the survivor. But I think, also to reiterate the fact that, ensure the survivor's safety is priority.
Okay, so in the case of Maria or any other survivors for domestic violence, what else can she do to seek protection?
Okay, so in the first place, she could connect, with an organization like WAO. Because she must have been, maybe in isolation for a while, and her good friend is away long distance. So she could call a helpline, such as ours, available 24 hours when it is safe. And she could, share what is going on, or find a closer contact, for example. Now, there is also, Talan Kasih, which is by the government, another helpline that is also 24 hours. So the helpline and being able to speak to someone, who could connect you to resources, for example, like counseling, because they may not be ready to do anything just yet, but they just want somebody to listen to them. So these are one of the steps that, a survivor can do. Now, in the event that safety or emergency situation, then by all means call 999, to get help immediately, and to be rescued. Okay, so if they were to call WAO in such a situation, we would ask the permission that we could report for them. All right, so that is one of the assistance that we can offer. Now, then there is what we call the one-stop crisis center. One-stop crisis center is located at all ERs in the government hospitals. Now, what happens is that in the event a survivor requires medical attention, okay, from injuries, from assault, and they need, medical attention. Now, because we do not know where it's going to go next in the court of law, or police reporting, etc. So going to the government hospital, where they could collect evidence, whether they need to perform, for example, a rape kit, all these things can be done at this one-stop crisis center. Now, on top of that, there are also, social welfare workers there as well, and and also a place where you could make a police report. So that's why it's called a one-stop. So it is not necessary to go separately to a police station to make the report. So so if a decision has been made, for example, that straight away you want to log a police report, there are two types of police report. One is a cover report. A cover report is to basically log the incident, that on this day and this time this thing happened, and the survivor could tell the police officer that I do not want to take any action, but I want to make a report. So the reports are being compiled, right, as part of evidence. In the event in the future anything can happen. For example, it could be because of child custody, or in the event that, because at that point in time in making a police report, maybe the survivor is not ready, because of all the lack of confidence and all of that psychologically factors. They may feel that they are scared, they are frightened, they're worried, they're dependent on the abuser. So if something were to happen, right, what are you going to do? So they feel helpless. So they feel that, okay, maybe I do not want to take any action, because if he goes to jail, then what's going to happen to me, right? Then there's another one where they could say, I want to have an action report. That means the survivor is ready for an investigation to be taken up. Okay, and tells the police officer, I want an action report because I want to have investigation done, where the police officer would then go into interviewing witnesses and etc. To further the evidence gathering in the event that it requires to go to court. Now, on top of all that, just like how under the penal code we would seek for like restraining order, a domestic violence survivor would be able to file for emergency protection order, for example. An emergency protection order is something that can be done in 24 hours with the nearest social welfare department, and it does not require a police report. So these would offer some temporary, for as long as 7 days, protection. The next level would be an interim protection order, but that requires a police report, right? And in which the investigating officer would make a referral letter. And with this referral letter, together with the officer, they will go to the JKM, and then the JKM would assign a welfare officer who would help seek a date with the magistrate's court for a hearing, because the interim protection order is issued by the court, right? And eventually, if it goes into legal and it goes into divorce and etc., and the next level of protection would be a protection order. That means it will be a full order that prohibits, for example, the abuser coming near, seeing the children without permission, and the whole works. Yeah.
Okay, so in the video, Maria's husband is told to be abusive. Aside from that, he's also an alcoholic with anger management issues. Should he choose to have these issues dealt with, what method of treatment do you think it's recommended for him to take?
Okay, so the fact that if he acknowledges and accepts that he has violence and aggression in his behavior, that is definitely the first step. Then reaching out to a support system for counseling, for to de-alcoholize himself, for example, to break the cycle. So those are important steps that he could actually take. For example, in the alcohol is not the cause of the violence, but the alcohol would then maybe unleash the behavior, because maybe it makes him put his guard down. So staying away from alcohol is one of the steps, but all of these he would definitely need a support system to help him go through with the necessary steps. Definitely, a professional counseling to help him through and to guide him accordingly.
So in the event if we do suspect domestic violence, what should we do? Like, we hear loud noises, banging, others. Do we call the WAO first, or do we call the police first?
Well, if you do suspect, case of domestic violence, you could, I think, in the first place, establish, that is so. For example, if you're living in a condominium, maybe you could alert the security. They could go and check, is something really going on, or what is going on. But of course, in cases like this, sometimes they're hiding, right, and say, oh, no, I'm fine, nothing is happening or whatsoever. But in the event that there is real danger involved, or there is a child survivor involved, then definitely calling the police is or help, or getting consent, like I'm calling the police right now for you, kind of thing. So those are kind of steps that you could actually take. Of course, calling WAO is one of the ways as well, but as we are receiving a call from a third party, let's say like yourself reporting your neighbor, we would need to establish that something is really going on. We need to have something firm, because we can't be calling the police at any other time, right? So and also if we would probably recommend that are you able to approach anybody, are you able to see anyone, and from there we would then establish the scenario before deciding what to do, for example.
So unrelated to the video, if a person with children becomes a victim of domestic abuse, what can the people around them do to help the family? Like, not as in like help patch back the family, and it's more like how to support the children and the mother.
Okay. So, because violence should not be trivialized, meaning that, it's nothing, it's just one time, just slapped you around, it's fine, you could try to get back together again. So I think all these are suggestions, whether as friends and family, we should avoid. It does sometimes, I mean, it could be frustrating because, as a family member or a close friend, you would say, why you still want to be with him, that kind of stuff. So it takes time, for the survivor to you need to let her to make the decision herself, for her to be ready. And by being there for her and supporting her and making her aware that there are resources available, she is not alone, all these will be helpful in taking her on a journey where she would be able to make a decision for herself. So what you mentioned just now, okay, so there are two parts, right? One part is where the child is the victim and the survivor, or another part is where the child is a witness to violence. So the exposure to violence, for example, like TV, music, or whatever, is more likely to create, difficulty, as I mentioned in the early episode, for the child to cope in school or even growing up. Okay. Now, in Malaysia, there are specific acts, for example, right? The Penal Code, the Child Act 2001 with the amendment in 2016, Sexual Offences Against the Children Act 2017. So all these mandate family members to report in the event that they suspect or have awareness that a child is being abused, for example. So and in sexual offences against children, all of us, have a duty to report. It is a criminal offense if we have awareness and we do not report about it. So some of the measures that that can be taken as friends and family to the children who are survivors of domestic violence or even witness to, is to be with them and foster a connection, right? I mean, be conscious about the cultural background, because maybe they are from a different cultural background. Provide them with social support, for example, like make them feel valued, make them feel recognized, and for the children, trust is actually confusing because they see love, or they think love is expressed in a violent way, right? And then there are times when it is not violent. So it is very confusing, like, is this love? Is this not love? Or if maybe the child will blame themselves and say that, maybe I didn't do something, and hence it is my fault. So they go through the similar emotional and psychological, thoughts. Well, listen to them, assure them that it is not their fault because they are innocent parties to the situation. They would of course feel fear because they are probably afraid. So don't make promises that you cannot keep, right? You promise them, oh, I'll keep you safe. You have to make sure that you're able to carry out promises made to the child. And of course, seeking professional help where there are experienced professionals who know how to deal with children, because children would express maybe their feelings of their experience differently, because they may not outright speak about it, but maybe they would draw about it, or they would suddenly say something that is unexpected. So that is potentially that can happen.
So, in terms of support, how can a kid support their parent, mom or dad, when like one of the parent is undergoing domestic violence from their partner?
Okay, depending on how old the child is, of course, the child would, of course, in this situation, it would be ideal if both survivor let's say mother and child, is able to remove themselves from this violent environment, okay, then the healing process could actually take place, right, provided that it is safe, for example. Ensuring that the mother is safe or providing her support, maybe calling a helpline, or in the event is necessary, reporting to the police, calling 999, right? So potentially that is also something that the child could do. Of course, the mother would be going through quite a lot of trauma, and to have a child be part of that scenario is very challenging. So if the child is mature and able to offer some comfort to the mother, and they could maybe the child could actually maybe reach out to somebody where she or he could get emotional support from. All right, so through that, maybe the mother would then come to realization that for my safety and my children's safety, I need to be away from this aggressive and violent environment, and then maybe she will be able to make the decision and find ways to remove herself from that situation.
So that will be all for today. Thank you so much for joining us for today's interview. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the viewers?
Thank you so much, for having me. Yes, I would like to say that, no matter how big or small the acts, but, the fact that you are here today, the audience is here today, your knowledge, your voice, your acts, and your support could well make a difference, a positive difference in the society. It would help someone find support. It would help a child to have normalcy in their lives, and in fact, I think it may well save a life with your knowledge and your participation, in wanting to promote gender equality in our society. And also, a part of that is, follow WAO and all the work that we do, help share and correct misconceptions, for example, and actively, speak up, if you are a witness to a situation, right? Don't be afraid to speak up, for example. So at the end of the day, we are here to make a better society for the future generation and a better country for all of us. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. And that will be all for today's episode. And bye.
Bye.